Royal Air Force officers and non-commissioned aircrew are trained to lead and motivate the people they command. They learn to operate in mentally and physically demanding environments around the world.
Dear viewers, welcome to our program. I am your presenter, Ayub Mzee.
We've seen the young recruits passing out, and we've also had a chance to see some of the trainees. Now we're at the receiving end, where these trainees end up once they've done their trade training. We're at Royal Air Force Wittering. Behind me you can see the Harrier aircraft.
Stuck in a job that I would be doing the same thing every day. I wanted variety.
The RAF gives you an exciting and challenging job that's never the same on 2 days, in all parts of the world.
The Royal Air Force provides excellent opportunities for you to go on and gain further qualifications, further education.
Could you please take us through a brief history of the Royal Air Force?
Well, the Royal Air Force started in 1918, the 1st of April 1918, because the Royal Naval Air Service and the Royal Flying Corps were competing for aircraft, spares and serviceability for the different aircraft. So it was formed by a Royal Charter in 1918 to bring that problem about, to stop that problem happening any further. And basically they brought it together as an independent air corps called the Royal Air Force.
And just like any other organisation, maybe the Army, the Marines, I know you have got some challenges and successes. Have you got some that you want to discuss with us?
Yeah, we've got a number of successes. Obviously, the Battle of Britain, being at this time of year, is particularly pertinent. Obviously, that was the Battle of the Few against the mighty Luftwaffe, and obviously the massive ground support that attracted to make that happen. Currently, we've got many successes. Indeed, the Gulf War, Gulf War I, Gulf War II, that we're currently engaged in. We are still currently deployed in those areas, and of course, you have a massive worldwide presence with the Royal Air Force as well. Some of which the young boys and girls you saw graduating today are going to find themselves in the near future.
Could you take us through your day? What do you really do at this station?
Get into work at about 8 o'clock, get changed, have a cup of tea, then I'll go up to my section, a hangar, which is upstairs, and then I'll get a task with what I'm going to do day to day, and just go out generally servicing equipment. If it's broken, bring it into the bay and fix it, and then fill out the paperwork and send it out.
What really interested you to join the Royal Air Force in the first place?
Just the qualifications you gain, really, more than civilian street. You can join up as a mechanic, but you can do different trades what associate with your trade, really, like hydraulics, which associates with my trade, but I could go in more depth, get a qualification out of that. Do a H&C, get a bigger qualification out of that. And then when I come out, or if I decide to stay, I've got more routes in life to go to in the engineering trade.
And being a person who is described as a member of or who belongs to an ethnic minority, I know you've had some experiences, difficulties, and your successes. Do you want to share that with us?
Well, since I've been in the Air Force, I ain't really experienced any racial comments as such. You get the odd little banter, but nothing. I don't walk around with a chip on my shoulder, give a bit of banter, take a bit back. It's a laugh at the end of the day. No one knows. There's a certain line what people know which they shouldn't cross, and no one's ever crossed that with me.
What you're going to see now is that air pilots, they are going to take off now.
Flight line of number 20 Squadron at RAF Wittering. Behind me you see we've got GR7 Harrier, and if you look across to the left here you can see some of the equipment that the young man we just interviewed, Darryl Atkins, works on. An electrical generator that provides power to the Harrier behind me when they're starting up. As you can see now, there are two of the aircraft technicians that are preparing this aircraft for takeoff, ensuring that everything's in place and as it should be before the aircrew take over.
Okay, basically the GR7, as you can see, is a single-seat aircraft. It's flown by something called HOTL, hands on throttle and lever. Basically the pilot flies it by control of this here and this lever down here, which he uses for hover and trimming. And all his instruments, his weapons firing buttons are on this system here. Although you can't see it now because the aircraft is shut down, everything that's replicated on his screens here, whether it's the horizon or the angles of attack, he can display on something called the HUD, the head-up display, which appears on the top here. So as he's flying along, he doesn't have to look down at his instruments. He can actually see through the screen and actually see what he's doing here. And anything on these two screens here, he can project up onto the canopy here, which makes it a very good aircraft for a single pilot to do. Also, the visibility out of this cockpit, you might think ergonomically it's very, very tight, but for a pilot that is actually a very good aircraft to fly. And this particular mark is the GR7. The operational aircraft are being upgraded to the 7A, which is a bigger engine, gives it more thrust and more capability when it's landing on aircraft carriers. And also, we are improving the avionics fit on it, which means that it can fire the latest smart weapons, and that will be the 9. So most of the operational Harriers are now working to go to a GR9 standard. The one thing that most viewers are interested in is how does the pilot eject? Well, there are two handles, the one in the middle of his legs when he's flying along here, and one at the back here. And when he pulls it to eject, if he has to do it, whether it's in war or because he has an electrical or a mechanical failure, this detonating cord on the canopy blows out the perspex, and the pilot automatically then ejects through on his seat, and eventually once he deploys his canopy he separates from it. So it's quite an easy way of getting out of an aircraft fast, and in a very successful way.
You must show